Hi, my name's Keith and I'm known as the Florida Stone Man, and today I'm going to do a video talking to you all about why your patience is paying off. And this might be a giant relieving topic for some people. I'm going to talk to you about what it means to wait for a while for your blessing to come and what kind of tests are being presented to you. Some people are like, it's the universe presenting the tests and preventing the blessings at the same time. But it's God. You have to understand, God made the universe, and the universe is full of mechanisms, so God will test you through the universe with certain mechanisms. And I'm doing there's actually an anklet holding up it's an anklet holding up the video, and it's holding it up very perfectly. So how cool. So one thing you have to know, and yeah, this is pretty secure, so yeah, I have free hands during this video. Yay! If you want to see my rings, look at Florida Stone Man rings. How cool. I'm not throwing up gang signs, but look at the rings. Look how cool the rings look. I'll have more rings coming to the website with new designs, but in essence, this video is going to talk to you all about patience, the aspect and virtue of patience. Not many people know that this is the strongest thing at attracting blessings. Now, when it comes to patience, you really do have to understand you'll be tested for something for a while. And what is patience? It's a virtue, and I'll tell you how to have a little more patience at the end of this video, because the least helpful thing I've ever seen is for someone to say, just be patient. Because sometimes people just lack the energy of patience. Some people don't have that patience. Some people wish they could be patient. Some people are craving patience. Some people are like, I'm trying to be patient so hard, and what happens when you lose patience? What happens when you don't have patience? It's a sabotage for your blessings. It's like the biggest, and really think about it. Just ponder it. Like, what happens when you're not patient? You try to rush. You get angry. You get frustrated. And at this time, when you've done everything you could possibly do, that's when you just pray. I'll talk about that in the future, but some people will tell you just pray. But if you're not changing your ideologies, your beliefs, your thought patterns, your behaviors, you're not making certain efforts to make the spiritual realm match the physical realm. So if you want to be an entrepreneur, and there's lizards running up to me. That's why I say I look around in this video. Like, I'm not even kidding. It's a beautiful red lizard. And if you guys can hear it, the thing's massive. It has no fear of me. That's why I look around when I'm doing videos in Florida. But it's a cute lizard. It's a curly tail. But what you really have to understand is that God will test you with patience to see is whatever you have going on, whatever you're asking for, whatever you want in life. A lot of people are transient on their goals. A lot of people, when they ask for something, they really don't mean it. You ever see that one family member or one friend who will ask for something and they'll get it and they're just like, it's whatever. And it's just like, it could have been anything. It could have been a giant blessing coming into their life, but it could have been the biggest blessing. And that person didn't have to wait for it. That person, it's like they energetically didn't deserve it. So this blessing moves into their life, and you notice some people will get whatever they're asking for, and they just don't care. They just don't care. It's like they didn't deserve it. And that person will lose the blessing as fast as it came to them. So that person wasn't tested to see what they would do to change for that blessing to come to them. It could be winning. I'm not going to use winning lottery as an example, because there's 100 different reasons as to why you guys just don't win the lottery. But in this video, I'm talking about in specific essence of you guys will be tested for patience to make sure you're able to hold your blessing when it comes to you. And I'll use different examples from the Bible. So, the tribes of Israel had to wander in the desert for about 38 to 40 years, and all these biblical scholars fight each other, in the wilderness of Sinai before they actually got to the promised land. That's a good example. So all that time, all that patience for something that God promised to them. Another example is, and the people like the Genesis examples, because some people are still reading, some people are still very familiar with Genesis, but when it comes to Abraham and his wife Sarah, he had to wait a while for him to have a child, which she was unable to bear children, but he was patient. He did what he was supposed to do during the time being. He didn't constantly question it. He didn't get angry. He didn't get frustrated. He was patient, and he was constantly looking forward to it as if he was expecting it to actually come to him. So when you have a certain expectation that it's coming to you because you're waiting and you're being patient and you're doing everything you can to possibly have this blessing to come to you, so it's being receptive. So I'm going to use some examples. Let's get into it. So spiritual gifts, your protections, your love life, spiritual gifts was a very good one. Your love. Let me just stick it to a very simple few topics. So your love life, financial life, spiritual gift set, anything that you desire. It could be a business opportunity. So something you need to know is that anything that comes to you too quickly is a giant red flag. If you had something, I'll give you an example. If you had a business opportunity that you did not deserve, but it came to you as fast, like just out of nowhere, and there's something a little bit off. It's like, hey, people really have to wait for this opportunity, and you look at like those scam texts, you'll get those like scam emails, like, oh cool, it's something super quick, and they'll hire you immediately. Turns out it's extremely illegal or it's some kind of scam. So, or the boss is just, maybe it is real, but the boss is just, they don't really care. They'll just fire you as quick as they hire you, which does happen. Another example, and this is gonna make some people laugh, but this is serious. Some people will have a love life and the one came into their life immediately. The one wanted a one-night stand, and now you're heartbroken because you trusted someone who was promising you everything, and you just one day goes by and you didn't wait days, weeks, months, years. Some of you will have someone pop into your life for a brief moment. They'll tell you everything that they want you to know. They'll ask you certain questions. They'll be like, oh, what's your dreams? And they'll be like, to have children. And the person will be like, for example, man or woman, any kind of example. They'll be like, oh, to have kids. It doesn't matter what the example is, but oh, to have kids. And then the person will start sweet talking you. Oh, that's my goal too. Like, I'd like to have kids too. Like, where would you like to live? On the water, with a boat. Oh, I'd like to live on the water with a boat too. And like, they'll just, me too. And they'll start fitting the exact person who's a dream person for you, and they'll leave your life as quickly as they came. Versus maybe someone who you wanted to be with for about, and this is when God actually tests you to see if who you want is who you should be with for the rest of your life. Because if you can't wait a couple months to a year for the person to come around, then guess what? That person won't stay around you for your entire life. That's just how it is. So when you're patient for that, and this is a love life example, I'll talk about spiritual gifts in a second, but the financial aspect, I'm not allowed to talk about too much because it's YouTube. But the thing is, with the love life, because that's a really good example, when you had to wait for about, and not had to wait, you were working on yourself, you didn't wait for anything. In essence, you're not waiting on the person, you're literally fixing yourself, working on yourself, getting your vibration high, and it's putting you in such a standpoint as to where you can attract anyone who you want, and you don't really care. Maybe that wasn't you a year ago, but now you're like, okay. And now you're magnetic to everyone. Like literally people are lining up to be with you. That's how it is. Once you're magnetic, and that's, I'm gonna give you an example because some people don't recognize that. You're around, let's just say your ex left you, you're miserable, and then you finally moved on. And then right when you move on, or right when you find someone else, the ex texts you, pops back into your life, shows up, wants to be with you. It's like, where'd the sixth sense come from? The devil. I'm kidding, but actually the devil will send people to distract you. But it's not just the devil as well, it's you're vibrationally compatible, and most people fall back into wherever they were and they'll go backwards. So you have to understand why that happened is because you worked on yourself. Once you get to a certain point, you can have anyone you want. There's no such thing, and people will be like, what about type, or what about this? People will have all this different, what about, oh, this person's gonna be, oh, what if they move away? What if they move closer to me? What if they move too close to me? It doesn't even matter, because in essence, that person's going to move closer to you regardless once you move your vibration closer to God. Once you move your vibration closer to being a better version of yourself. And once you're so perfected, and there's no such thing as being perfect, but once you perfect these things about yourself, you won't really, like I said, your love life will be very abundant. I'm thinking about people who've gotten carnelian and rose quartz from me as a necklace. The people went from waiting for one person to having so many people around them that their life was just kind of like, and they're not being like sleeping around or anything like that. They're just, all these people are, for example, one woman, she went from no one looking at her to, she used rose quartz and carnelian as a necklace, and she'd pop into my life every week. She's like, oh, this person's taking me out. Oh, this person's taking me out. Oh, I didn't know this person. Like, I didn't even know this kind of person. Like, she didn't think that she was eligible to be around such a person who was beyond her type. But she fixed herself with her energy aligned to the point where there's no type for her anymore. There's people look at her and now she's like an exception to their type. That's what I mean. It's like you've surpassed a certain level of vibration to the point where you can have anyone you want. And same thing when it comes to spiritual gift sets. I'll talk about this right now. A lot of people, and you want to know how spiritual gifts work, it starts with meditate. Actually, most importantly, I'm going to say it starts with God. Most importantly, you move yourself closer to God and you meditate. You give your time to, there's people behind me. You give your time to just really working on yourself. You give your time to upgrading yourself, meditating, understanding that spirituality takes time. So a lot of people will meditate for, yeah, I'm sweating a little bit out here. So, it's a nice day. I like it when it's hot. But a lot of people will get bummed out because like, oh, my spiritual gifts didn't open in a year. Sometimes it takes people seven years to crack a gift open. Versus, and you have to expect, people are like, well, I've been waiting for so long. Here's how it works. In essence, this is the gem part of the video. This is how it works. One day you're chilling and you're persistent with your patience and you're persistent with just waiting and working on yourself and being patient and having all these virtues of light and moving yourself closer to God. And you're staying patient, and when you're patient, don't just sit idle. Constantly question self. And people speeding behind me and there's a cop all the way down the road. When people are patient, they don't get into trouble. Such as the person behind me who needed that message. I don't know if you'll hear the sirens go off, but there's a cop hiding down there. Speed limit's 10, the dude's doing 20. But when you're patient, for example, I'm gonna apply this to my to like traffic. For the person who went too fast in traffic, maybe something happened to them because someone else was impatient. Maybe something like they're just flat out impatient, and now there's some kind of consequence to their actions due to the law or due to someone else. Maybe and it doesn't even matter. So the person was rushing to a place, and now the person's not getting to the place because maybe they got into an accident, maybe the cop pulled them over, maybe they're late to the place. Now, it doesn't mean when you're impatient, it works against you. Your guides don't really help you like that. They'll actually, when you're impatient, things will wait a whole bunch longer. A whole lot longer. But when you understand, and I'll tell you how to have virtues of patience in a second. When you know that you're patient and you're working on yourself, always ask yourself the question, okay, what else can I do to grow? What else can I do to grow? What else can I do to grow? And keep questioning yourself and ask yourself, well, how else can I move closer to God? How else can I move closer to God? What else can I change? And you'll change, and sometimes it might be a little tiny change, or you just did that, you practiced what you did for so long to the point where it's like a muscle. So let's just say in the gym, you're unable to lift a certain weight. And you're like, how can I reach that weight? How can I reach that weight? You start tweaking the way you move your elbows. Like, I'll give you a bicep example. Instead of for curling directly straight, which is, people will curl like this. And people will start doing really bad stuff in the gym, like certain things they shouldn't be doing at the gym. Certain cheats, because they don't see their biceps getting bigger. When, if you just turn your elbow inward, which is a little workout technique, is when you turn your elbow inward, you're peaking the bicep and you're forcing it to become bigger because you changed a little tiny thing about the way you work out. God will armor your angels to slide this into your intuition. So maybe a year into working out is maybe that's when you start seeing your biceps get huge. That's just an example. A lot of people are like 9 months into it, 10 months into it, 11 months into it, they don't see anything, they give up. Versus people who are just, and once you have it, it's yours. Like, that's yours now. It's for life. It didn't come to you quick, and it's not going to leave quick either. So, same thing with spiritual abilities and spiritual gifts. People of darkness tend to be like, I can't get this gift open. I'll sacrifice something, or they'll move themselves closer to the devil because the devil will give them a gift open very quickly, and it's fascinating, etc., and the gift leaves. See, exactly. But when people of darkness, because when you're of light and you're working with angels of God, moving you closer to God, a year might go by and a random meditation, you just see something. Like you're like, oh, I just saw an angel standing there. It's like, and your angel will be looking back at you. They'll just surprise you. It's just like that. Maybe it happens gradually, maybe. And the thing is, once you have it, it's yours. So in essence, in this video, is talking about the biggest thing you'll be tested for is patience. The more patient you are, I'm not going to say the quicker it comes to you, but the bigger the reward will be. So for example, in your finances, when it comes to finances, in this aspect, I can't talk about too much because of monetization rules, but if you're looking for something quick, it'll leave you just as quick versus let's just say you take time to study something and you get good at it and you have something no one else can take away from you, and even on your worst day you're doing the best. Okay, it's like small businesses, even on your worst day you're still doing your best even though you don't realize it, which is really cool. Now when it comes to your love life, let's just say you worked on yourself to a point where you're just so magnetic. Even on your worst day, you might just get surprised because of how magnetic you are and how you could just have anyone you want or anyone who you desire because you're so attractive spiritually, physically, emotionally. You're just working on yourself in every aspect to the point where you don't really worry about your love life anymore. It's just like you're loving yourself, you're working on yourself, and people just come along, and that's usually how it happens. Now, your spiritual gift set, people will be impatient, but when God wants to surprise you, he's gonna surprise you. You'll be meditating for about 3 years with nothing happening, absolutely nothing. And one day you'll just see your angel standing there like a human being. It's as clearly as a human being stands there. It's like, and that's happened to me. I remember a long time ago, I was waiting. I'm like, woo, 6 months went by, a year went by, a year and a half, and I just see my angel staring at me. And I'm just like, what is that? And I was just, my heart beating. And sometimes they'll just drop in, like they'll just be like, it'll be the most random thing. So it's different for all of you. For example, when I saw a different angel, it's just a beam of blinding light just in the center of my room, and I'm like, and I was like pinching myself. I'm like, is this real? I'm like, am I actually seeing this? And just like high pitched frequencies, and I'm like, huh? But same thing for you guys. It's just random. It's completely random because it's a test of patience. It's the biggest test that not a lot of people pass. Now, how can you guys be more patient? Ask God. Ask God specifically for patience. Not a lot of people know how to do this. My angels recommended it to me a long time ago, and that's how I'm able to reap so many rewards in being so patient. And same thing with you guys, is because when you're patient, you're not constantly questioning things because you're trusting in the process. It's about the journey, as my angels say. It's about the journey. It's not about the instant whatever, because my example from earlier. So ask God for patience. And sometimes you can command yourself to be patient. Just look in the mirror and say, be patient. I'm telling you, look in the mirror and say, be patient after you ask God. Tell yourself in the mirror, be patient. Draw the word patient on your phone. Put patient on your fridge. Take the word patient, because words have power, and put patient all around you. And when you look at the word, you'll feel a little more patient. And that's how it works. Just tell yourself in the mirror, write it in the mirror in red ink, dry erase, patience, 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 and then just meditate on the energy of patience, because that's when everything starts coming to you, is once you're patient. So that's how you can be more patient, because some people will just say, just be more patient. And it's just like, what does that mean versus you meditating on that energy? But if you have any questions, and the crystal of patience is bronzite, by the way, and smoky quartz. If you have any questions, you can ask them in the comment section. Until then, I'll see you guys next time. Check out floridastoneman.com. There are some really cool gemstones on the website. Check it out to see what I mean. Until then, I'll see you guys next time. Ciao.